Hello there, Bobby back with you from Survival Existence. Today we're going to talk about removing gun rust from a firearm that you may have forgotten to wipe down after coming in from a hunt, or if it was very cold outside, you stepped inside where it's warm and humid and your gun rusted. You forgot to wipe it down, which isn't uncommon. This particular gun's been sitting around. It doesn't even belong to me, but it's been sitting around. It's managed to get some rusting starting on the barrel and a little bit on this case hardened part of the receiver. Today I'm going to show you how to remove it. All you really need is, in this case, a set of gunsmith screwdrivers. These are Packmeyers, and I've had several sets over the years, but this is just my current one for removing screws. And also you're going to need 4/0 steel wool and some rim oil. You can use 3-in-1 oil, or you can use pretty much any oil that's suitable for use on guns, as long as, of course, it's not or it doesn't have detergent in it. 4/0 steel wool. Only use 4/0 steel wool. Do not try to use 0 or 0/0 or 3/0 steel wool, because you will remove the bluing a lot easier from your barrel and any other parts that you work on. So use 4/0 steel wool only. Some people will tell you need to use a brass pad or something along that line, and it's just really not necessary. 4/0 steel wool works well, although you do have to be careful around any pin rounds or screw head rounds or across the edges. Just like you would anything else, you'll take the edge off. But 4/0 steel wool works perfectly well, and I've used it literally since the mid-70s on guns to remove rust. In just a minute I'll be back with you, and we'll start working on this gun, getting it ready to remove the rust. Before you start removing any of the fore-end or the butt of the stock of the gun, make sure that you have the proper size screwdriver, in this case a Phillips head, to remove any screws. And I strongly suggest using a set of gunsmith screwdrivers. The Phillips head isn't so absolutely important, although they do need to fit. The most important are these hollow ground flathead screws. They set in and grip a screw a whole lot better. I don't know if you've ever really paid attention to a screwdriver, but it's usually tapered and it's not hollow ground. As you can see right there, it's designed to fit down in a screw, and specifically gun screws, to keep from boogering them up. Okay, first thing we're going to do is remove this forearm. We need to remove that screw so we can take the forearm off. It just simply turns out. Set it someplace safe where it doesn't roll off the table. And your forearm should lift up from the front and come right off. In order to remove the barrel, you simply break the barrel down, and then it comes up and out, just like so. Not a difficult issue at all to remove the barrel from the receiver. We've already took the forearm off. Now we're going to take the butt stock off. I took the butt plate off, and some of these shotguns have a screw that holds the butt stock to the receiver. Some of them have a bolt. This NEF happens to have a bolt, so I got a 9/16 inch socket which will fit this NEF. And pay attention to how tight the bolt is when you remove it, because you want to get it approximately the same torque. You certainly don't want to tighten it so much that you crack your stock, or you'll be replacing it. Okay, we're ready to get started. We'll need some rim oil and some 4/0 steel wool. The whole idea is to remove rust and leave as much of the finish as possible. You normally will not have trouble removing rust if it's just surface rust from a firearm. Pitting can be a whole different matter, but this firearm doesn't really matter to this person a whole lot. He just simply wants to rust the stock, of course. And 4/0 steel wool, some sort of lubricant. Like I said, you can use 3-in-1 oil, rim oil, or just about any oil short of a detergent oil. And if you use it, you just need to make sure and get all the detergent off of it. But the whole idea is to lubricate this steel wool as it goes across the metal, removing the rust. You simply put it on there, and the easiest way is just rub lengthwise. I wouldn't go around in circles. Even on the barrel, I would simply go lengthwise where possible. There are some spots, like around pins or screws, where you do have to adjust the way you're going at it. But here in just a little while, after I get finished this receiver, I'll be back with you, and I'll show you how it does. Once you've rubbed the receiver down with steel wool and oil, you'll need to take a rag and wipe it completely off, and you can see a great deal of improvement in it. In a case hardened receiver, or any other part for that matter, there's only going to be so much that you can actually do. It'll always not look exactly right, but it'll be far better, and it will arrest the rust without a doubt. But just simply wipe it down thoroughly, making sure to get the trigger. This particular one has a trigger guard that's plastic. It's not a real new gun, but it's not horribly old. It's certainly not old enough to have received a steel trigger guard. But the trigger itself is metal and will need to be cleaned up. And of course, get every place inside and out that you can see. And like I was saying, that looks far, far better than what it did, and that should arrest the rust, should remove what surface rust was there. In just a minute, we'll go on to the barrel. This locking lug down here has some rust in here, and I'm make a special point to get it out because it's hidden. You don't normally see that unless you disassemble a firearm, which isn't difficult with this kind of shotgun. It being a single shot, it's relatively easy to disassemble, but it's just not normally done unless you're doing something like this, like removing rust. But you continue doing just what you were doing, rubbing back and forth on this firearm to remove the rust. That rust itself has a certain amount of grit to it. You'll see it starting to build up a tannish to brown color as it removes the rust. And you'll feel it in your steel wool also. Whenever we get this done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got this finished, and all I'm going to do is wipe this barrel down, and we'll be able to see exactly how much good we did. Okay, there's that, where the rust was right there. It's removed. And you can look at the barrel as it goes. And that surface rust is gone. A little bit of elbow grease goes a long, long way to removing surface rust from a blued firearm. I will caution you to be careful about trying to use steel wool to clean surface rust off of a gun that you've cold blued. Cold blue and steel wool, even though it's finest for all it is not a good combination. It will remove the bluing if your firearm's been cold blued, which means somebody's worked on it somewhere down the line. You probably need to take it to a competent gunsmith and have a good bluing or blackening applied. I myself, I like the older type hot water blue. It just seems to make a deeper color. The finish on this 410 shotgun looks far better than what it did. It's not perfect, obviously, but the rust has been arrested and it looks far, far better than what it did. The shotgun looks much, much better than what it did by any stretch of the imagination. If you like our videos, please hit the like button and please subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Survival Existence. Come check us out on Facebook and also come check us out on our website at survivalexistence.com. Have a good day.